Today we're going to take a free video from productioncrate.com and make it into a blood drip transition. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here and open up a web browser to productioncrate.com. By the way, all links will be down in the description below. And if you scroll down here, we get to a section called Holidays, and if we're going to click on that, and then right there is Halloween, and that's the one we want. So I'm going to click on that. By the way, if you come up here where it says Preview Pro Content, you click on that, and that will remove all of the paid ones, and then we're only seeing the free ones. And there's several cool ones out there that we could take a look at maybe in future videos. But for right now, the one I'm interested in is Blood Drip, right down here. You will need a free account to download this, so go ahead and sign up for a free account if you don't already have one, and go ahead and download it, and then see me back here in just a second, and we'll actually start making our blood drip transition. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started with HitFilm Express. That's the free video editor from FX Home, by the way. And once it gets started, we're going to come to the upper left-hand corner where there is a new button, and I'm going to click on that. And right now my settings are at 1920 by 1080. That's a 1080p video, by the way. And I'm doing 30 frames per second. You know, if you're in Europe, you can pick 25. You can pick a different resolution or whatever. But these are kind of my standards, and so we're just going to stick with this for now. And click OK. Now we're in HitFilm Express, and the first thing we need to do is bring in our videos. Now I'm not only going to bring in the blood drip video, but I'm also going to bring in two other videos that we're going to transition between. And those could be any videos that you like. These are just the ones that I picked out. So make sure you're over here on the Media tab and click Import. And here's my three videos. I'm going to select the first one here, the wolf video, and I'm going to hold down my shift key and select the last one, the full moon, and it's automatically going to select all the ones in between. So we have all of them selected, and I'm just going to click open. And here we go. Let's go ahead and bring in our wolf video first, and we're going to put it on this video 1 layer right here. So the way you do that is you make sure it's selected, then you hold down your left mouse button, and we're just going to drag it in. But I'm going to do a trick here. I don't want the audio from the wolf video. I just want the video only, because this is a video transition, so we're not really concerned about the audio. So I'm going to hold down my Alt key while I drag, and that lets me bring in the video with no audio. So I'm going to hold down my Alt key. I'm going to left click on my mouse. We're going to drag this guy over here to video 1, and make sure it's at the very beginning, and it'll kind of snap you over there as soon as you get anywhere close. So just let go right there. It happens to pop up and say, hey, this wolf video is a different size or something like that from the video style that I picked at the very beginning when I started HitFilm. Do you want to change to match this wolf video? And I'm going to say no. Now let's go ahead and bring in our clouds. So I'm going to click on the clouds down here, and I'm going to hold down my left mouse button, and we're going to drag it in, and we're going to put it right next to the wolf video. Again, it snaps, so you want to get it right up against there. It'll snap right there, and just let go. And here are our two video clips. Now I am going to come down here to this lower center area here, and you notice there's like a little tiny mountain, and there is a bigger mountain, and then there's a little dot in between. Those little mountains are actually buttons, and I can click on them, and it's going to zoom in on my timeline. And the other way to do that, by the way, is to grab a hold of the little button with your mouse, hold down the left mouse button, and you can move it left or right to zoom in on the timeline. I want to make it a little bit bigger so we can see what's going on here. That doesn't change the way the video plays or anything. That just makes this view of my editor window a little bit bigger. Now that we've got those two on here, let's go ahead and bring in the blood drip. So I'm going to select that one. Again, I'm going to hold down my left mouse button, but this time I'm going to place it above the other two videos. So I'm going to drag it over here and then get it above the wolf and the moon here, and it's going to let go. So now it's on video 2. It's created that automatically for me, just right there. So it's really convenient. And now we're kind of scrunched here because this part of the lower half is for audio and the upper half for video. And again, I don't really care about the audio with this one. So I'm going to move my mouse right over the divide between audio and video. Notice how it changes. I'm going to hold down my left mouse button. I'm going to drag this down to make my video area bigger because that's what I'm interested in today. So let's kind of take a look at our blood drip video. First of all, it's green screen, which we need to make transparent. Also, too, boy, that's a weird looking blood. This looks more like chocolate milk transition or effect to me here. And then also, too, it never quite fills the whole screen, even at the end. And we really need that to happen in order to make a transition. We want all the brown part in this case, which needs to be red, to completely cover the whole screen that we could see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the scroll wheel on my my mouse, and I'm going to scroll down, which is going to zoom out. And by the way, you could also use this little drop down over here for zoom, and you can also use the plus and minus keys to zoom in and out too. So now that we've got it zoomed out here, I'm going to hold down my shift key. I'm going to find any of the corners, this corner right here, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to drag it out until the blood effect completely covers the screen. So let's just kind of come back over here. I'm going to hold down on this little bar and I'm going to drag through just to make sure it looks good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good now. We're still in chocolate milk mode, but we'll fix that here in just a second. So let's go ahead and zoom back out again. So I'm going to come over here, select this, and go to scale to fit. And now we're zoomed back out. All right, so now let's go ahead and fix the green screen part of this. And that's pretty easy. We just need to apply an effect to our blood drip video. So we'll come over here to effects. We'll search for green. And it finds the green screen key right here. It's under presets, 2D effects, green screen key. And by the way, when we add this, it's actually going to add 3 different effects. They all kind of work together to make a really good green screen. And so I'm going to hold down my left mouse button over that, and I'm going to drag it onto blood drips. Oh, and all of a sudden it is transparent. But it's really not a transition yet. We got a couple of problems here. First of all, again, it's more chocolate milk than blood looking. So let's fix that. Again, I'm going to go over here to the Effects tab, and we'll get rid of the word green, and I'm going to type in hue, H-U-E. And we are looking for hue, saturation, and lightness. I'm going to, again, use my left mouse button, grab that, drag it over here to blood drip, and let go. Now, whenever you apply an effect, it always pops you over the control panel, and it highlights that effect for you. And so right here is the hue, saturation, and lightness effect. And I just want to use this little arrow right next to master here, the little triangle, and I'm going to click on that, and it's going to open it up. Now what I want to do is I want to change the color, which is the hue. And so I'm going to hold my mouse down on the left mouse button, and I'm going to grab the little dot, and I'm going to move it to the left. And now you notice we start getting reds. Now if we keep on going, we'll get purples and blues. I don't want that. So I'm going to back this up here till we get something that's pretty close to red. Maybe somewhere about there. By the way, you can type in numbers over here too. So if I click on this number, which is minus 21.6 right now, I can actually erase that and put in, let's say, minus 22 and hit enter. There we go. So now we have something that's kind of red, but that's still pretty weak sauce. I don't think any vampire would be interested in that. So I'm going to come down here to saturation. Just like before, I'm going to put my left mouse button down here, and I'm going to select that little dot, and we are going to go to the right. Let's drag my mouse to the right, and that's going to make the color more vibrant. And there we go. Now that's looking a little more blood-like here. So we got those 2 problems fixed. There we go. So now we got it covered the whole screen. We got rid of the green screen. Oh, and we fixed the color. So I guess that's 3 problems we got fixed. So we're almost done here, but it's not really transition. I mean, we cover up the wolf here, but then it just pops over to the clouds, and that's not really what we want. And also, too, this blood drip effect takes a long time. But we start playing this here. I'm going to press the space bar. You could also press the play button here. Same thing. Okay, then, okay, there it goes. And then Okay, there it goes, and then it's almost done, and it just takes forever, okay? So what we need to do is we may need to make our blood drip much faster. Basically, we're going to speed up the video, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to come over here to this little squiggly arrow thing. It's called the Rate Stretch tool. By the way, you could press S to select this, but I'm just going to click on it. Now when I come back over here, I'm going to go to the right side of my blood drips, and notice that turns that little bracket. When it changes to the bracket, if I hold down my left mouse button and I go drag my mouse to the left, it's going to make our video shorter, but most importantly, it's going to make it run faster. So the whole video is still there. It just runs much quicker. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to press the space bar. Again, you could press this little arrow thingy right here. There we go. Now we're talking about getting some blood spilled over here. Let's position this right between these two clips here, right between the wolf and the full moon. So I'm just going to grab that little guy, hold down my mouse button, I'm going to drag it over here, and again it snaps, so it snaps right there. So that's perfect. So let's see how it looks here. Again, spacebar. Okay, well, not too bad. We got the wolf going away, but we just popped to the full moon. So what I want to kind of do is I want the blood to kind of go away on the full moon side. So how in the world are we going to do that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have my blood selected, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to copy. You could also do Control C, and then I'm going to drag my my little timeline bar here a little bit farther down, and then I'm going to right click again, and I am going to go to paste, which is Control V or Command V if you're on a Mac, and it's going to paste an exact duplicate of what we had. And the reason why I made duplicate is because I wanted the red color. I wanted it expanded out to fill the whole screen, and I also wanted that sped up effect that we got with the Rate Stretch tool. Now I'm going to grab this second copy and I'm going to drag it so it snaps to the first copy. So let's just kind of see what we got here. Okay, so the blood pours down over the wolf, and then the blood pours down over the moon. Well, it's not exactly what we wanted. Let's go ahead and let's see here. Maybe if we flip this around, it might look better. Let's do that. Make sure your second copy of the video is selected, and I'm going to come down here to under our controls. There's one called Transform, and you can open it up just like that if it's not already open. And the one we want down here is Rotation, and I'm going to come over here to this little number that says 0.0 and click on it, and I'm going to type in 180 or 180 degrees and just hit enter, and it's going to flip it 180 degrees. By the way, if you notice that little line right here moved, I could also just grab that little line and then spin it around. But it's kind of hard to get it exactly, 0 or 180 degrees. That's why I just like to type it in. So now let's kind of see how it looks. All right, so the blood falls down, and then the blood falls up. Okay, well, that's a little bit better, but not exactly there yet. What we really need is we need that second video clip to play backwards, so basically kind of like takes the blood away. But that's real easy actually. All you need to do is come over to Effects, and then I'm going to erase hue and type in reverse and hit enter. And notice down here under temporal we have time reverse. So I'm going to select that and drag it to my second blood drip right here, and then let go. Now let's see what we got here. The wolf gets covered with blood, and then the blood kind of disappears from the top, and we're over here to our moon. And we've successfully completed our blood drip transition using a free asset from Production Crate. So I certainly hope you liked the video and maybe learned some things about how to colorize, how to resize, how to rate stretch, how to reverse the time of videos, make them run backwards. All sorts of cool stuff we learned today. So anyway, if you did like it, please like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.